All right, so I wanted to make sort of like almost like a prep guide video on what you should kind of be getting geared towards about Final Boss Bond when he comes out. And the only reason I'm making this now is because if you didn't know, JP's update today actually came out where they are doing a rerun of Final Boss Bond, and I know that we haven't got him yet on global at all, but it really should be coming up soonish, I hope. And I can only assume that within the next couple of updates and stuff like that, that they're going to hopefully release that. But the big thing is that there are 2 units that came out when Final Boss Bond came out originally on JP, one being this blue Valenti right here, and then I think it's the green Easton that a lot of people talk about. And so we're going to, that's kind of one of the problems with this, is that I think this blue Valenti is basically catered towards this whole final boss right here, and obviously we're gonna have to wait for her to come out, I think, pretty much before they actually release it. So you can pretty much bet that whenever they release Final Boss Bond, it's going to be in tandem with her going to be she's going to be on a banner, and I would imagine they'll probably release green Valenti or green Easton with her as well. So I've been looking through a couple of different videos. I've got 5 different videos here, and I'm going to put all of the links to them down in the description just in case you want to watch those videos specifically. But I was trying to get a good idea of how Final Boss Bond works and what kind of teams you should be looking at trying to get ready, so that way you guys can go ahead and start working on those teams and getting those units like kind of developed, and your gear and everything situated on them before the actual boss comes out, so that way you can hopefully try to get a decent score. So the big key players here are this blue Valenti, which obviously isn't out yet, so you're not going to be able to power that one up before this whole thing starts on global. But this SR Arthur is a really big player because he has a detonate skill, and I think that's one of the biggest reasons why Valenti's really good too, is because she has a detonate skill. And normally you would think, okay, well, what good does detonate do? I'm pretty sure that detonate is one of the key sort of like mission objective things on this final boss, where you get a lot of points for using detonate skills and stuff like that. Plus, in the second phase of Final Boss Bond, you can kind of see where if I can get a decent, well, it's kind of hard to see it, but if I can get the quality up a little bit higher, you can kind of see right there he has 2 sets of ultimate gauge orbs. So he can have a total of 10 ultimate gauge orbs on phase 2, and obviously if you let those get really high, it's detonate is 20% additional damage per orb in the target's ultimate move gauge. So obviously you could do some pretty big damage there on phase 2. From my understanding, Final Boss Bond has some sort of like revive mechanic where every time, or not, maybe not every time, it's really hard to understand because even the players that were doing JP content, because it's all translated and stuff like that, I don't think there was a really good actual translation of how the fight itself actually works and how his revive actually works. But I've watched through all of this video and some of these other videos and everything like that, and I've tried to understand, but it seems like if Elaine's not dead, he'll revive, and then even if she is dead, or well, no, so you want to make sure that you kill Bond first, but if you kill Elaine first, he will revive after he gets killed, and then sometimes he'll just revive anyway. I'm not sure if it has something to do with the buffs that he puts on, or if it's one of his passives or something like that. Obviously, with the JP side of the game, if you click on him and everything, you might not be able to read it, but I figured somebody would probably have that translated, but it seems like there was a lot of confusion whenever this final boss came out, so his revive is kind of a big deal. But yeah, as far as the team comp goes, you may want to start looking into trying to get this SR Arthur up a little bit. Obviously, I don't think you really need... He goes through this video with him not super awakened, and he has him only at level 75. I'm sure it wouldn't be very hard for a lot of players to get him to level 80. I don't know if I'll waste any sort of super awakening coins or anything like that on him, but I'll probably try to get him at least to level 80 before this comes out. But he seems to be a pretty big key player. Obviously, if you're looking to save and just kind of skip on Valenti, because if this final boss comes out around the same time as Escanor comes out, then it's going to be really like a battle for gems. So I really don't know if a lot of players are going to want to summon for her, because she in general is just not very good. The green Easton is actually pretty good from my understanding, so a lot of players might want to try to get her, and if they're on the same banner you might end up getting Valenti as well. So I don't know exactly how all that's going to play out on global, but you know, I'm just trying to help you with a team here. So yeah, those two are the really good units. A lot of people run this you know, Lilia, just I guess because she has a heal and because she can take off ultimate gauge, but I don't know if you're really using her for her passive or not. I'm sure it helps a little bit here and there, but he specifically, Nagato, uses blue Jericho in the back to boost damage, whereas I have a video with Speedy and he actually uses Marmus in the back, which increases your HP stats. I'm assuming just kind of like for survivability and stuff like that, which I can definitely understand. This guy, I'm not familiar with him completely. I'm pretty sure he's a Spanish YouTuber, or it could be something other than Spanish, but I think it's Spanish. But he uses, instead of Valenti, he actually uses Mikasa from the Attack on Titan collab, which I know that doesn't help a lot of players out, because maybe if you weren't around for the Attack on Titan collab, you don't have Mikasa, or maybe you just didn't summon very much, or maybe you just didn't get lucky enough to get Mikasa. But she is a unit that I don't have powered up, and I probably would not look into powering up, to be honest. But I do have her. I could try her out maybe whenever it comes out, but she seems like she might be an alternative. And then there's actually this guy who did a free-to-play sort of like team where you can use the blue Deanne and actually Matrona, which I thought was kind of interesting. So, I mean, I don't think I boosted Matrona at all, even with, I think it was the final boss Rugal where you could use Matrona, or maybe it was the final boss Taizu or something like that. One of the previous final bosses that we've had on global, you could use Matrona and Deanne to really like wombo combo together and do some pretty big damage. So I've actually watched through all of this video. He actually does pretty well. And I mean, obviously the free-to-play team is not going to get you a whole lot of points. You can see right here, he really doesn't get a whole lot of points on this, but it is a decent team that you can actually just use to beat the final boss and therefore get, you know, the rewards and stuff like that from the shop. Even if you're not too worried about getting like high placements or anything like that, you can beat the you know, boss with it. So that's always the important part. And then obviously the last thing I have for you is Nagato recently, actually today, released a video where he put out just the one Escanor and soloed the boss by himself. So obviously he's coming out soon. If you're looking to just get points and you're not too worried about going for high scores or anything like that, using him by himself is not going to get you a crazy score or anything by any means, but just putting him on the team, since a lot of people are saving up for him anyway, would be a pretty decent way for you to go ahead and just, you know, help you fight through the fight and everything like that. So you could potentially just, you know, get rid of Valenti and maybe put him on the team. I'm not exactly sure how he uses him in this, because he only has 2 moves. I don't know if he just uses his pure raw damage to actually beat this or not, but yeah, this is the only one that I haven't actually watched all the way through yet. But yeah, all of these videos have been actually pretty helpful, so I would definitely recommend messing with the Blue Arthur there because of his detonate skill and everything like that. Plus, he's very free-to-play friendly. Most people are going to have him just because he's an SR unit, and I mean, all of the SRs on the banners are pretty much the exact same. I'm pretty sure they just throw all of them in. So yeah, that's going to be pretty easy. If you don't have, you know, your blue Jericho or your blue Marmus leveled up, I definitely recommend throwing a couple of levels on them. You don't have to like obviously get them all the way to level 80 or anything like that, but just I have mine both at UR 60, I think it is, which seems to be pretty good. Just putting like some HP defense gear on them in the back kind of helps boost your CC up a little bit, and you know, you get their passive buff and everything like that. So that's always really nice. And then other than that, I mean, that's pretty much all. Hopefully the Valenti banner and everything like that isn't like super like sought after. Hopefully they don't do anything super crazy where they want you to summon on this banner like crazy, because obviously the one is coming, and I really want them to release it soon, because not only do I really like Final Boss Bon, but the outfit for Bon and the outfit for Elaine are both really cool looking. So I'm just interested in those, to be honest. But there's a lot of free gems and stuff like that to be had, obviously. So that is pretty much it. Honestly, that's all I have to really talk about. So while the game is down for maintenance, I can't really do anything in game, so I figured I'd do some sort of, you know, planning video. So that is it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Feel free to subscribe for more content in the future, and I will see you guys in the next video.